Yeah, certainly will be a very brutal addition, but it seems like most Vuelta Españas are quite brutal. We might as well jump into the favorites straight away. And Patrick, there's no one else to start with than the 2023 runner-up. And that is, of course, Jonas Vingegaard, the two-time Tour de France champion and second place in the Tour this year. No Tadej Pogačar here. And we have talked about him before in a different video. But yeah, why is he the favorite of this year's Vuelta España?
At the moment, he is the second best GC rider in the world behind Pogačar. But like I say, he's not here, so he inherits the favourite status of the race. He was fantastic during the Tour de France, even though he had a little bit of a problem early this year at Paris-Nice, which was kind of ruled him out for a little bit. But he seemed to be going well at the Tour. Obviously not the level of Pogačar, but comparatively to other competitors, he was still in a slightly different league to those guys, backed up by a really strong squad of Jorgensen, who was also there in the Tour de France, being a fantastic domestique for him in that first week. Also Campenaerts, who was also in that Tour de France squad. He's just integral to that breakaway controlling phase. Then you also have Kelderman. Got Sepp Kuss, the winner from 2023 when Vingegaard was runner-up. Ben Tullett, we're excited to see what he can do actually. The young Brit, we'll see if he's allowed to some breakaways in get his own opportunities. Dylan van Baarle and Axel Zingler, who have both just come off of the Tour of Denmark. It's a really strong squad. It's built pretty much solely around Vingegaard and his objective of winning this race. He is, let's face it, the strongest GC rider in this field. I feel like every GC contender in this race, or like the big major ones are, like the ones from UAE at least, have had problems of their own. So it's not like anybody is on a particularly smoother path to anybody else. Vingegaard is easily the favourite for this race. I don't know what the better markets say, but you're not going to make much of a profit.
Do you think this team could do a double podium? I think Matteo Jorgensen, if he was somewhat in a better condition than he was in the back end of the Tour de France.
Yes, I think they could do. But it depends how Jorgensen's recovered from that Tour de France. Like you say, he was good in the last stage, like the rainy one around Montmartre, to be fair. But yeah, like you say, in the mountains in that final week, he was suffering a bit. I think there was a little bit of a cold going around there, and I think he was suffering from that. But yes, I do think that a double podium is possible, probably with Jorgensen rather than Sepp Kuss.
I mean, this team is well equipped for the team time trial as well. There's quite a few engines in there, but I would have loved to have seen what we're not here. Okay, if you string it together, he did actually win stages in his last 3 Grand Tours, but if he'd come here to the Vuelta, just won one of the first stages and then dipped out, he would have been the first rider in history to win a stage in every single Grand Tour in 1 year. So, I mean, technically he's done that with that Vuelta last year and then the Giro, the Tour, but like in 1 year, calendar year. But what aside, it looks like a superbly strong team, and Jonas Vingegaard probably is going to be a lot more aggressive than he was at the Tour, we hope. He doesn't have Tadej Pogačar's wheel to follow, so he has to attack. Is he going to follow Almeida's wheel? I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. The strange strategy of being in second place, but riding as if you're in first place. That's, that kind of strategy. Yes, hopefully that won't be deployed. I want to see a more aggressive Vingegaard here. I want to see attacks. I want to see him winning a few stages. I don't want it just to be a clinical, we're going to win the Angliru, we're going to win stage 20 or something if we're forced to fight for it, and we're going to just take time in the team time trial and the individual time trial. I really want it to just be a bit more of a showcase of really putting the hammer down and just showing what Visma Lease bike can really do, because I feel like they were always on a little bit of a back foot in the Tour, and I think it'd be good to see them coming out swinging.
I think this is only the second time he's done back-to-back tours or 2 tours in 1 year, because obviously 2023 he did it, but other than that, obviously we won it last year, but that didn't happen. So yeah, it's looking like, yeah, I'm just double checking myself. Yeah, it is, because 2022, that was his first Vuelta. And then from there, he did the Tour every single year. And then the Vuelta was the only time. And obviously, he's never done the Giro, much to the amusement of many of us. But his record is ridiculous across the Grand Tours, as we know. That record speaks volumes as well. And I think, like you said, this team is very strong. They've got the mountains covered. They got the flats covered. And Campenaerts was very, very good everywhere. He was climbing better than some of the top 10 contenders on some of the stages. The Horchcam stage, he was definitely out climbing some of the best climbers. So I think, yeah, super strong team. Not the strongest team, but very, very strong team for sure. The natural, you say Visma Lease bike, you jump to UAE Team Emirates there. adversaries across numerous terrain. And what do you think of UAE Team Emirates? They're coming with a two-pronged attack. Are we considering Jay Vine maybe for GC? Probably not.
I think it's a two-pronged attack, yes, with Almeida and Ayuso heading up the team, alongside Mikel Bjerg, Felix Glorscharkner, Doman Novak, Ivo Oliveira, Marc Soler, the man who finds diamonds in his legs just for the Vuelta, and that's it. And Jay Vine, who was fantastic in this race last year. I think he won the mountains classification in this race last year. I think that, and I said this in another video that we did, I think that UAE Team Emirates, from individual riders, has got more possibility of winning like more stages from breakaways with their quality of riders, with like a Soler or a Jay Vine or a Grosjean versus Visma Lease bikes, which is more of a complete team around Vingegaard and winning. And I think that is a testament to the fact that UAE are perhaps hedging their bets and wanting to get, are looking that Vingegaard's the big favourite. Beating him with Almeida or Ayuso is going to be quite difficult. And therefore you got to almost pad the stats with a few stage wins here and there, and bringing some other top quality riders to go in the breakaways is a sensible thing to do, so that they're not just left with, a podium place and no stage wins. Because I don't think that's really in their psychology. I think they are an aggressive, getting the breakaway sort of team as well, so especially in the Vuelta. But in terms of their team, I think that Almeida and Ayuso, one of them should be finishing on the podium here. I know they've each had their problems. Ayuso DNF'd the Giro d'Italia. I can't remember exactly what his injury was, but he's had a fair amount of time to recover from that. It wasn't like a, broken...
He had the bee sting as well.
Oh yes, he had that bee sting. That was the straw which broke the camel's back, wasn't it? I think that Ayuso will be recovered. Almeida he had a broken rib, something like that, but he was pretty quickly back on the bike after the tour. So hopefully they're both in fighting fit condition, because I'll tell you what, they're going to need it to topple Vingegaard.
Yeah, now we come into the bit murky waters, I think, in terms of where we're looking next for favorites. Red Bull, is that kind of the next team that you would look at, or is it Ineos Grenadiers, or even Soudal Quickstep coming here with Mikel Landa? But Landa didn't look great at the Vuelta a Burgos, apart from that very good descending attack he did on stage 3 or stage 5. I think it's like these are the two favorite teams, and then everything else is maybe more on the verge of being outsiders. But Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, we might as well go there, because they have quite an interesting team, and that could be a three-pronged attack, because they were down with Vlasov. I don't know if Vlasov is still there, but Vlasov hasn't been looking great recently anyway. But definitely Giulio Pilasari, who was top 10 in the Giro, and then obviously Jai Hindley, who's kind of fighting for his position as well to some extent.